Here we are in beautiful Northeast Tennessee going on a hike. And as we often do, at some point we got to use the facilities. We have to go to the bathroom. What do? We go ahead, head off trail, get out of sight of the trail, take care of our business, then turn around with the intention to come back. Here's the problem. Nothing looks the same, right? Nothing looks familiar. Why is that? Well, we never took a look over our shoulder on the way out to see what it looked like coming back. We didn't look at the vegetation, the trees, the terrain. We didn't take a compass bearing. We didn't even look up in the sky to the sun to see what direction it's in. So with that comes that very primal feeling that we get when we are lost or temporarily misplaced. And as a species, we don't like that, okay? So when we feel like we don't know our surroundings, that leads to a very primal feeling. Our little lizard brain starts going haywire, and that can lead to some panic and some bad decision making, including just starting to zigzag and try to get our bearings more quickly, which leads us to become more lost, or it could lead to us getting injured and all kinds of bad things. Next thing you know, it gets dark, it gets cold, and maybe it gets wet, and now it's a potentially dangerous situation. And unfortunately, this happens every year, and it doesn't always end well, sadly, and it can be prevented with just a little bit of knowledge. Fortunately, Mother Nature does provide. So if we find ourselves in a situation like that, and we don't have a compass, we don't have a map, we didn't take a look at our surroundings going out, etc., there's some ways Mother Nature, we can draw on that, and again, we just have to know where to look. And we call this natural navigation. It's one of the main things we can use as far as natural navigation is concerned, are celestial clues. Think the sun, the moon, and the stars. And today, we're going to talk about that big orange ball in the sky, the sun. So one of the questions we ask in our survival classes is, where does the sun rise? People almost always get this right. They say, where? East. And we learn that as kids. The answer is actually east-ish. It depends on the time of year. So as we get to the equinoxes in the fall and the spring, the sun will rise due east. That's true. But as you get closer to the summer solstice, the longest day of the year here in the northern hemisphere, the sun will actually rise east-northeast. As you get closer to the winter solstice, the shortest day of the year, it will rise east-southeast. Bottom line is, though, it's going to rise east-ish, and that's good to know. So then we ask, well, what about in the evening? Where does it set? And again, people almost always get this right. They say where? West. And the answer actually is westish for the same reason we just said. Equinox, it'll set due west. Summer solstice, it'll set west-northwest. Winter solstice, it will set west-southwest, okay? So we have those two anchors again. Everybody knows that. So what's the big deal? What about noon, though? So this is the next question we ask, and in all the years we've been teaching this, there's just a small handful of folks have ever gotten this right. The answer is almost always what? They want to say it's directly overhead, and that's just not the case here in the northern hemisphere. So the only place in the world where the sun ever is directly overhead is in the tropics. So that's between the Tropic of Capricorn in the southern hemisphere and the Tropic of Cancer in the northern hemisphere, which runs, in the southern Keys and into Mexico. So anything north of that in the northern hemisphere, the sun is never directly overhead. That is hugely beneficial. Why? Well, that means we have a third anchor. At noon, or around noon, the sun then is where? It is south. So it's going to track across the southerly sky. So if wherever the sun rises, whether it's due east or slightly off that, depending on the time of year, as it traverses across the sky, it will be in the southerly sky. As you get closer to the longest day of the year, it's going to seem closer to overhead, and it will be, but if you look carefully, it will still be slightly in a southern sky. In the wintertime, it will be much more pronounced in the southerly skies. So, why is that useful? Well, 10 in the morning, the sun is where in the northern hemisphere? It's going to be southeastish. What about in the evening or the afternoon at, say, 3 o'clock? It's going to be southwestish. So again, we can kind of use that now to get our bearings. Okay, let's go back to our example. I'm out hiking, Mother Nature calls, I have to use the facilities, I'm going to get off trail to do that. This time, though, I'm going to take a look at the sun. And it just so happens it's 10 o'clock in the morning in the northern hemisphere. The sun is off my left shoulder, say, which means it's in what direction? southeastish, okay? Which means I'm going to be traveling southerly. All right, so I'm going to go take care of business. When I turn around, the sun's going to be now off my right shoulder, which is going to be still the southeast, but now I'm going to be traveling more northerly to head back to the trail. I get back, all's good. I get on with my day. I have a great time out there, and nothing bad happens. It's always a good day out there. Okay, so again, a little bit of knowledge goes a long way. How useful is this? It's useful enough. And you can make a game out of this. When you go out there on a trail, take a look at the sun throughout the day. Bear cubs down there making all that racket. And just test yourself. So, take a look at the sky at any one point, 2, 3, 4 in the afternoon, 10:30, doesn't matter. Go ahead and guess what direction it is, and then take a look at your compass that you carry, and just verify it. And you'll find the longer you do this, the more you do it, the more instinctive it gets, the better you get, and that can prove useful if you ever need it. But it's also just a great way to reconnect with the natural world around us. Look, we have a long history with these skills. We've just kind of moved away from them. And reconnecting with them is hugely gratifying. It's empowering, and it's just a way to get closer again to the natural world around us, and that's always a good place to be. So hopefully you found this useful. If you have any questions, hit us up anytime at info@nolilearn.org. We do have some wilderness survival classes coming up. One on March the 1st here, right in this area, beautiful Watauga Lake in the Cherokee National Forest. And we have some additional dates throughout the year as well. You can find those at nolilearn.org. We'd love to have you out here. Again, any questions, hit us up. Until next time, we'll see you outside.